Hey everybody, welcome back to MaryBird's Backyard Garden. This is Jeff.
And I'm Mary.
And we're happy to have you guys back with us again.
Very happy. Thank you.
Talk about our MaryBird garden that we have in the backyard, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. We've got some stuff going on there. So I know we always do this. It's our kind of our usual thing. So Mary, what's new in the garden?
Well, we have actually had quite a busy week.
We did.
I was not in the garden too much this past week because there were some tasks that I needed to play catch up with. And I worked really hard and got those all caught up. But even though we were busy people, we still managed to plant several plants. And we had a trip to a local garden center.
Where we were just going to get one. We were just going to get one thing, right? That's all.
We were going to get the topic of this podcast, right? We certainly were. And what happened, I don't know.
Well, I don't think we have ever gone to a plant store and got one plant. That's just actually ridiculous to even think. I mean, that's not doable.
Well, it wasn't. The back of the car was quite full of plants by the time we left.
It was.
I think we picked up 5 bougainvilleas, maybe.
Well, and I got a couple hanging plants for my new hanging structure.
You got a portucala and a vinca,
Okay.
a paling vinca. Yes.
I got what Mary said.
And we ended up with, like I said, several bougainvilleas. We are going to need to learn about how to take care of those.
Okay.
And we ended up with 2 lavenders, which one of them is a hide coat and one is a Munstead lavender.
The Munstead. I like that one.
Munstead.
Okay. All right.
And we did pick up 2 Mexican mint marigolds, which we talked about on a previous podcast. I'm very excited about growing those because they're really good for fall color. You know, it's important in the garden. We do buy things that are going to be colorful right now. That's always an attraction when you're walking through the garden center. But if you think ahead, you want color throughout the whole year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you kind of have layers that come forward and back. And the Mexican mint marigold should put on a beautiful show in the fall, which I'm quite happy about.
Yeah, I think we lose track of the fact that as we record this today, it is May 1st. It seems like we're like in the throes of summer because everything's bloomed early. But
everything did bloom early.
We have a long time to go. Wow.
Yes,
you were mentioning that.
Beginning.
Yeah. So
we're just now beginning.
I'm very impatient, but I'm happy that you're going to go ahead and make sure that we have color throughout the seasons because I like that. All right.
And it is a yellow that you are particularly fond of.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to leave it in your capable hands then.
Speaking of which, a nice yellow. I had a delightful surprise this week.
Yes.
Something arrived by delivery, and you told me to open the package. And inside was the most beautiful sign. And I was so surprised that you thought of getting it.
I did. It's very cool.
MaryBird's Backyard Garden.
It's a custom metal cut sign that I got.
Oh my goodness.
It came out really cool.
It
round,
so
it's yellow.
Perfect.
And we have put it up on our little garden fence. So it's going to be cool. And I took some pictures and I'll post those up on the blog when we get that out there tomorrow.
It is kind of highlighting the little kitchen potager.
Yeah. It was cool. I was very surprised. It came out really well. So I was very happy with it.
It is just like perfect.
It is. It is.
Beautiful. And it's very heavy.
It is actually. It's pretty substantial. I'm happy with it. I think it came out well and it looks really good in the garden.
I say
so kudos to me on that, I'm going to say.
For your choice.
There you go.
Yes. Well, I was quite delighted about that.
Good. I did surprise you.
You did. Very much. One of the other things that's new this week is a new product that I've been wanting to try for a lot of years. And finally, decided there were some that were on sale, and it's called Garden in Minutes. It's a watering system, and it divides your area that you're growing in square foot gardening fashion, which I've always been a fan of Mel Bartholomew and square foot gardening. Mm-hmm. And his method shows you how to grow your plants and tells you how many you could grow per square foot. It's sort of an intensive growing type system. Anyways, with this watering structure, it already divides the bed for you, so you don't have to worry about string or wire.
Yeah, it's cool looking. Yeah, it is actually pretty cool. You showed me that out there in the garden today.
And it goes together so easily. Mm-hmm. They package it where you just barely have to put anything together.
It was good, and you took over my infrastructure activities on that one. Did it yourself while I was doing some other stuff in the garage. So that's awesome.
Did. And yes, that is the product of the week that I'm quite excited about.
Good.
Giving a try this year.
Nice. Yeah, it looks good out there.
I remember it must have been 2 or 3 years ago now. We visited with a school. There was a garden. It was a community garden, and it was on the grounds of a school here in Austin. And our pepper plants had begun to sort of wilt. And this was probably in August, maybe the beginning of August. And our pepper plants were, of course, looked like they were reaching the end of what they were going to do. And our other plants were starting to look kind of sad too. But their plants did not look sad. And what they had done is they had put down drip tape along the bed where they planted their plants. And their pepper plants looked like they had just planted them. They were so full, and they had so many peppers all over them, And that's what I'm hoping that the Garden in Minutes will do for us this year.
Yeah, nice.
As well as save water.
Well,
so we won't overwater.
Well, and we go on restrictions so often. It'll be nice to have an alternative way to do that. So good. Nice. Yeah. Very good. You did a great job on that.
Well, yeah, it was great getting out there planting. I was very happy. The weather this week has been just wonderful. It's been rainy. And when you go out to plant in the garden bed, we have earthworms. It's just great. We just dig around, and it just lots of life in the soil. So,
nice.
Yeah, I was very happy
good.
About that.
Lots of cool new stuff. We stay active each week.
Even for a busy week.
I know. You don't realize till you look back that we actually did some stuff. So what?
And you've been mowing the grass too.
Yeah, I did get a mow in there. I had to get a mow in there. Now it's rained. I'll get a couple more in there maybe. So what else you got for us this week?
Well, last week we talked about an herb called borage.
The borage.
Borage. Okay, it's kind of new to me. So you got me a subscription to the Texas Gardener, which is a really great magazine that we have for Texas. And there's an article in the May and June issue for this year. The title of it is Bees Are Sweet on Borage. And it looks beautiful.
It is a nice, wow. I think it's kind of like a star. The little flower, blue flower is like a little star flower.
That's another name for it.
Oh, look at that.
How about that?
Okay, I like it.
Yes, that's one of the common names.
Okay.
And like I said, this is kind of a new herb that I'm not really familiar with, but we wanted to give it a try. And one of the reasons is because they do use it as garnish for drinks or salads. You could use the little flowers. And sometimes people take the little flowers and they freeze them in ice cubes to float in your drink. And they look so nice.
They do.
So cute. And the flowers are actually a lavender blue sort of color. And the leaves are very fuzzy, and it looks quite great.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice looking.
Okay, well, we're going to give it a try.
Good.
So it kind of piqued my interest, And so I went on a research, just a bit of a research, not really too in depth, but I was surprised to learn. Remember one of the earlier podcasts, we talked about Pliny the Elder.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Well, he also wrote, as well as Topiary, in some of his letters, he actually wrote about borage. And a lot of people have written through the ages. Yeah, it's so ancient. That's quite astonishing to think of this plant as going back that far in time. But it's in the same family as a flower called a forget-me-not.
Okay.
And it's also in the same family as another herb called comfrey. I don't know a lot about comfrey. I'm going to have to do research on that one before we take off down that path. But some of the names for borage are starflower because the flowers look like little stars. Isn't that funny that you noticed that?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They're cool little flowers. Yeah.
They are. They're beautiful. Bee bush. Also, they call it bee bread and bugloss.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
I'm not sure. Well, maybe it's an old common name that I don't know. Anyways, so there are 3 reasons why I'm interested in trying it out in the garden. Number 1, because we could use the little flowers as garnish in our drinks and sometimes on our salads if we want to.
Right.
And they're supposed to have a light, sort of a cucumber-like fragrance.
Yeah, that's what I found out too, that they do kind of resemble a cucumber in taste.
And taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds great.
That is. I
Very
know. I mean,
light.
they're small, but I think they are. And I know you can use a lot of the flower, not just the flower, you can use the stalk and the leaves.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I did a little research too over here, buddy.
I'm interested to hear about that. All
Okay.
right. I'm going to get through this fast. So
No,
you're
good. You're good.
So I'm interested in that because we could use it in our culinary activities. But I'm also interested in, because it is outstanding pollinator plant. And the other thing I'm interested in is because it's really, really good to add back into your soil. When the plant goes over at the end of its season, it's really good to be a chop and drop mulch type thing. So we talked a little bit about including the flowers and why we did that, but I was so interested to learn about the pollinator aspects. It attracts bees, hummingbirds, and all kinds of pollinators. Lots and lots of beneficial insects are they really like to nestle into borage. It provides great shelter for them. All of the insects that are going to be predators for you, for the ones that are eating your plants, like your green lacewing, and that's a really good one. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping one of these days to find the delicate little eggs of the green lacewing out in our garden.
Okay.
But the reason is that the nectar is so rich on these plants. And I did learn that they produce an abundant amount of pollen, and it's blue.
Oh, wow.
Blue pollen. I can't wait to go out there.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
And see that. And so I was reading an online article by the Old Farmer's Almanac, and they said that beekeepers are, they really look for this plant. They love this plant because their hive can produce about 200 pounds of honey per acre on the borage. And the other thing is about 60 to 160 pounds of pollen.
Wow.
Which is pretty amazing.
That's a lot, yeah.
And you think the bees are just carrying that back on their legs, right? And so it is a really good shelter plant, like I said, for the beneficial insects, and it's actually attracting them. So beneficial insects generally come into your gardening space because there's an overgrowth of the insects that we don't really want, such as maybe on your tomatoes, the tomato hornworm, or, I can't think of some of the others that are out there, but probably the ones that are around your squash plant too. And so borage is said to be a super duper hard worker in your garden because it repels the tomato hornworm. And I'm interested in seeing how it does in among the squash to see if it'll help me protect the squash vine against the squash vine borer and stink bugs and squash bugs and stuff like that. And so it's very easy to grow. It can reseed very easily every year. It's an annual, but you won't ever run out of it. But it's easy to control. Now, I think comfrey is a harder herb to keep under control. It probably, if you cut the root on comfrey, I think a new plant will come back wherever that bit of root is left in the soil. But I don't think borage does that. Borage is easily pulled up. You want to wear gloves to protect your hands from the little spikies like you would with a dandelion. And I think it's pretty easy to keep it where you want it to grow. It can reach 3 feet tall and 2 feet across.
Oh, wow.
And it's a really good, like a supportive plant for tomatoes because I think the way it grows and the way the taproot goes down into the soil, it pulls up minerals and things that the tomato can benefit from. So it repels the hornworm, and that's why I put it next to our tomato. I want to see if it works.
Okay.
But you can grow them in containers. Whether they're in ground or whether they are in a container, they need a really good, rich soil. So lots of good compost, lots of good extra feed during the year is what I understand, like a little side dressing of compost or whatever. And they do like to have moisture as they're beginning to grow and getting established. But they don't, of course, want their wet feet. They don't like to stand in that water.
My favorite saying.
But I think they do like more moisture in the soil than, say, a rosemary or another Mediterranean type herb. So, yeah, it has a light cucumber scent and flowers. And so in mulching, what you want to do is wherever, like if it's growing somewhere where you don't want it, you pull it up and you can just let it lay on the ground and it forms a really nice barrier over any bare soil. You don't really want to have bare soil because you want to keep the microbial life going. And those microbes love this plant. According to everyone I read, they will pull that plant and use everything in the leaves and the stalks in the soil to grow and create a more rich environment.
Oh, nice.
So that is what I learned about borage. We did plant some.
We did. They're cool looking plants.
Yeah. The leaves are kind of fuzzy. Well, the one that we actually found, we didn't find very many, but the one we found doesn't look so hot right now.
It looks okay.
I'm hoping that we can bring her back to life.
I think it'll come. Yeah, I think there was only like 2 at the nursery, but I think they look good. I looked at it today. It looked like it was fine out there.
Good.
I liked it. Cool. Well, as I was researching, I'm not much of a researcher on these, but I don't know why I got into the boards thing. But historically, because this is a very old plant, it was used to treat depression and mental illness, fever, heart disease, fainting, poisonings, and venoms.
Oh, I did not know that.
And it was thought to bring courage and was often given to soldiers.
Oh,
what do you think about that?
Very interesting.
That's an interesting thing.
Wow.
And of course, as you said, the leaves and the flowers are edible, used in drinks and salads and things. Modern usage, this was a surprise to me. It's got a high level of linolenic acid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that is? GLA, I guess is what it's called.
Is it one of the omegas?
I don't know.
An omega-6?
But they use it in cancer treatments.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah. So,
well, for heaven's sake.
And then the borage seed oil is helpful in treating skin issues like eczema and sun damage. So it's pretty amazing plant when you start looking at it. Yeah, I don't know. You're my science person. Linolenic acid is what it's called. And I think it's called GLA. But anyway, it is used in the treatment of in cancer. So that's pretty crazy.
Pretty amazing.
I know. I was actually surprised. It's a extreme, like you said, a very old plant. It's been around forever. It's been used forever. I think it was obviously was a lot more popular. Maybe not. I mean, it seems popular now if they're using it in those treatments. But
yes,
I think they used to use it as kind of a cure-all back in way back in history.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Yeah. So consider I never heard of the plant before until last week. So.
Right. I thought it was just something pretty that.
No, it's got a lot of uses, and I was very surprised. So it's kind of cool on the history of it and such. And so there's a little history to add to you.
I am impressed.
Yeah. See,
I love it.
Every once in a while, I get on Google and check stuff out.
Well, between the two of us, I believe you were actually the one that used the flour.
I did use the flour. So I know last week we said I wanted to kind of try to see how some of these things are used in either food or beverage. Mm-hmm. And so one thing the borage is used. So you can definitely use it almost like a little salad kind of. It's a small plant, so it's not going to be a salad, but you can use it in a salad. And it does have a cucumber taste to it. Mm-hmm. But the one thing I was looking at how could it be used in cocktails? And it is surprisingly used in quite a few cocktails.
Interesting.
And I did make one. I went and snipped a couple flowers off. So you can use it in a type of a gin and tonic drink. Mm-hmm. You can make simple syrup out of the leaves.
Oh, and did learn how to do that.
You can. So you can actually make there's a way to make simple syrup out of it.
Whoa.
And then you can make, you can use that in one of your recipes.
Oh, we should try that.
Yeah, I think that'll be cool. And the majority of them I think it's goes with more gin. Gin's got more of an aromatic and type of a taste. So it did go. So I made one. Mm-hmm. Tasted great. The flour is beautiful in there. So it was another refreshing drink that was, kind of with summer coming. That's kind of a cool thing.
Absolutely.
I also saw that there's someone out there that made a mojito out of it with rum. So, which that might be interesting, where they muddle the leaves on the bottom and then they put rum in, and you add lime juice and simple syrup. Again, you can make the simple syrup out of the plant as well. So you can use almost all the plant. You can use the flower, the leaves, and you can use the stems. So they're all. It's a very usable plant out there and edible.
Okay.
So I'll put some pictures up on the drink I made, as I showed you when I was out there taking some pictures. Came out really well. Again, I enjoyed it. It's, for summer, it's a nice summer, light, summery drink. And it's pretty, the only thing we don't have is, I don't know how many people have ice cube makers anymore. We have an automatic ice maker, but
that's right.
It would be cool to you can take the flour and you can freeze them into ice cubes and then use that as, part of the drink as well to kind of garnish it. So that would be a cool thing to try as well. So very nice. Overall, very cool drink. I like that. So it's 2 in a row. We had one last week I thought was really good. This one was good as well. So we'll keep going and seeing what we come up with for food and drinks. If we'll have to maybe get some other recipes as we move on.
I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So
I think that mojito sounds like it would be really good if we do a barbecue.
the mojito sounds really good, and you like you said, you muddle the leaves and you get the run. So we'll give that a shot. If we give that a shot, we'll take some pictures and let everybody know.
Nice. I like that.
Absolutely.
And for those of us out there that might not always have alcohol in our beverage, well, sometimes kids and whatnot, I think adding it to lemonade, having a lemonade drink would be amazing.
You don't have to use alcohol in it. You can obviously make this with other things. And it has the cucumber taste to it.
Yeah,
so
I'm interested in that.
Yeah, so you can use it in non-alcoholic drinks as well. And there's a lot of non-alcohol alternatives out there now that you could use instead of an actual alcoholic gin. So
nice.
Yeah, cool. So it was very good. I liked it, and we're 2 for 2 in the drinks.
I applaud
I'm
you.
enjoying it. So that is a little more on Borage.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I've been using some of the harvest from our little garden. We're pretty, I am frankly very new at growing veggies. But I just find it absolutely fascinating, and I just want to encourage myself to get better at it, And so this year we have a little cherry tomato called Brad's Atomic Tomato, and I've been harvesting those little guys, and they are dynamite. They are so good, and I hope that the production will keep up on the little vines. And this should be the prime time for them to start producing.
Nice.
But they are kind of an oblong oblong tomato with a little point to the end of them, and they're not red. They're actually sort of a purple, and it stripes down into a green. And I had a hard time figuring out when they were ripe. But I started, if they gave a little bit, I went ahead and harvested them, and they are so sweet, and they have such a really big tomato flavor that I recommend them.
Nice.
They're delicious.
I saw you coming in. I'm not a tomato eater.
person.
I did see you coming in with a handful this morning now.
But you are a pepper person.
The peppers, so I did harvest a few peppers a couple days ago. Put them in, had some food we were doing. I put them in there, and they were pretty hot. I was surprised.
It was great.
They weren't big, but they had a little heat to them.
I think you put them in with the onion and pepper saute.
I did. Yeah, I kind of mixed them in there. But they were great. So it was,
it was delicious.
Very nice to have something out of our garden that we're eating. You've got those big black tomatoes that are kind of this. They look cool when you cut them. And
I'm waiting for the next one to get ripe.
Yeah. So we've got some stuff coming up. I've got some more peppers. You've got that. We've had potatoes come up. So we're getting there. We're getting there on the journey.
I do love it. We have some pot marigolds that are actually blooming right now. And I was interested in using the flowers. I think what you do is you steep them in some oil, and it's good to rub on your skin. I mean, it's something fun to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Mary?
Well, I think that's the extent of my knowledge about borage, but I'll keep everyone up to date with the progress of our plant.
Yeah, and I'll put the recipe for the gin and tonic drink out there on the blog. We'll put some pictures and get all that out there for you guys as well. So I encourage you guys, please go visit our website, MaryBirdGarden.com, and check us out on Instagram as well at MaryBirdGarden. I did have one more thing I wanted to talk about.
Oh, good.
So this week, we've had an old wheelbarrow that we've been using, the traditional wheelbarrow. And it's kind of on its last legs, and it's always difficult to kind of move. So we made the decision to go and buy one of the gorilla carts. So it's 4 wheels. They sell them at all the big stores and online. But it is, we got the 12 cubic feet one that holds 1,600 pounds of weight because I know Mary always has a lot of weighty stuff that we do. It's got its little dump function on it.
So nice.
Which is cool. But
yes.
I think it's going to make life a lot easier for us both.
Mm-hmm. It has larger tires.
All-terrain type tires
Yes.
To kind of move stuff back and forth. You can get quite a bit in there too. So I think that was an upgrade for us.
I think you had a great idea.
Yeah. I think we were both pretty much at the end of our life.
We did go back and forth for a long time, but I'm glad you decided.
Yeah, I'm happy we got
both
the pull.
Decided, but,
yeah, we did. We were trying to decide a traditional type wheelbarrow design or a pull cart. And I'm just telling you, the pull cart has been amazing.
It's been great.
I would highly recommend that.
Was it easy to put together?
It took me. I snuck in the garage while you weren't looking. It took me, less than an hour. Not real long, and I was able to do it on my own. So it's not extremely difficult to put together. But it came out really well.
Yes, it did.
Throw that in there as something that we did this week as well.
So easy to move around.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's all I have. Do you have anything else?
Well, I was looking forward. May's a transition month. We're going to be headed towards our more summery weather. And so I would encourage people to think about gathering mulching supplies now. Leaves, maybe get the pine bark nuggets or maybe pine straw, anything that you could do to cover the bare soil, get ready for June. That's one of the things. And I think that we're going to be learning about bougainvilleas. We'll probably be bringing a podcast to you about bougainvilleas.
Okay.
I think you're kind of liking them.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And also, we're going to be planting 2 containers with lemongrass, one of my very favorites.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Very well. Look forward to it. Look forward to what you have. It was fun reading about the borage this week.
It was.
Got to be honest with you, it's kind of something new. Never heard of the plant. Probably have seen it at some point, but it was a very interesting plant.
I was really surprised to learn how far back in history people have been writing about it. And
yeah.
Wow.
Lots of fun. So I hope you guys learned a little bit today. I know we learned a bunch about it.
I have a question for you, though.
Okay.
On our journey, well, this wasn't the journey to the garden center. This is actually when you went out to go grocery shopping. You came home with a daylily and an allamanda vine.
Oh, I did.
I was wondering what you're going to do with those. What do you think?
I bought those for you, so I was hoping you would do something with them.
Absolutely.
They look cool.
They look beautiful.
That's my criteria. They look cool, so I'll bring them home and see what Mary can do with them.
And what did the gentleman tell you as you were walking by at the grocery store?
Oh, he told me that the hardy can't kill them.
You can't kill them.
So I told him that sounds great. Sounds great to me. So they are all yours to do as you wish. I just thought they looked pretty.
I think they do too, and I think that's on our to-do list for the next week.
Well, very good.
Very
good.
Nice. Very nice.
All right. Well, I have nothing else. And again, we really appreciate you guys joining us here on the podcast.
Absolutely.
And if you wouldn't mind to give us a rating out there, if you like the podcast, please give us a rating. If you can, well, in the show notes, there's links to the website and to Instagram that we keep updated as well. So if you get a chance, go check those out. And until next week.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you guys very much for
happy gardening.
listening. Okay. See you next time. Bye.